Okay, week 45. I made a video earlier, but something went haywire with the camera. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get through this or not. We'll see. So, basically, well, this is going to be tough. I got the sun right in my eyes. Oh well. So, I made a video earlier in the year about focus. And I got to thinking, I think I did that out of order. The reason I say that is because I think about purpose in life and worth and these types of things and what's important. And really, I think it boils down to responsibility. I think having a responsibility in life is kind of what gives you, I think it leads you to happiness, leads you to joy, different things like that. It leads you to life worth living, self-worth, just all kinds of stuff. And really the focus would come into play after you've had, responsibility delegated, or actually, I shouldn't say delegated, I should say responsibility that you've taken on, that you've purposely picked for yourself. Basically, you've taken ownership of it, extreme ownership. And I think a lot of that has to do with, kind of how do we categorize it, or I don't want to say severity, but basically the importance that you put on different responsibilities. I mean, obviously, you can have responsibility for your children, but you can also be responsible for taking out the trash. Well, you focus on these things, but, obviously you need to put more importance on your children and not taking out the trash. It's not to say that you don't take out the trash. It's just that obviously in life, you need to focus on what's important and adjust accordingly what needs to be focused on more than the other. And so I look in the dictionary, the Oxford Dictionary, and I look at ownership. And basically it says possessing something. And at first I thought, something? Well, what do you mean something? Like a thing? Like something of substance? But when you look up the word something, which is amazing, it doesn't really say, but you look up the word something and you realize, okay, something doesn't necessarily have to be a physical thing. For example, there was something about him that frightened me. Then obviously that's not a tangible thing you can put your hands on. And so ownership definitely plays into this quite well. And I look at responsibility and I think, okay, you can take on good responsibilities or bad ones. And really it's choices at that point. I mean, you could be responsible to be the lookout because you're doing a major heist with your buddies, make sure the cops aren't coming. Probably not a good responsibility. Not that it wouldn't be important to do your job and focus on that, but is it really going to, is it going to serve you or be best for you in your life and the ones around you? It affects everybody. And so I think that we need to focus. And, like I said, focus, it comes after, right? Well, yeah, I guess it does. I mean, you need responsibility to have something to focus on, and so you need to realize, well, these things need to be categorized, and they need to be organized, and they need to be set importance levels in your mind. It's not like we're going to write it out in a graph or in a grid or something. It's just that, we want our lives to go well, and the ones around us, I would hope you would want the best for them too. Well, it all starts with what responsibility are you willing to take on? I mean, you don't have to take responsibility on. There's plenty of people that don't. There's some people that take it so seriously that they literally end their life because they want no responsibility. Well, all that leads to just not a good thing. So I think responsibility is of utmost importance for us, everyone that we're, have connection to, and really I think the world in general, is just a small part of everybody on the planet. There's plenty of people taking on bad responsibility, plenty of people taking on good responsibility, or there's plenty of people walking away from responsibility. Look how many children don't have fathers, that don't, have a parent that is, that stayed or committed, to the mom, or, any of this type of thing. So you have children growing up with no role models. A mom is pretty much all a lot of children have, and it's really not enough to have a well-rounded childhood that can give you a great start in life. Will it work? It'll work, but generally there'll always be problems because there's a male and female role, and this is part of what's talked about where they say, there's really no differences, and that whether you're a male or female or whatever, that's just a social construct or whatever, which is a load of crap. There's major differences between men and women, and it's basically two halves that make a whole, and that's what goes into raising a child. And all of these things have to do with responsibility. But you know what happens when you get a whole community or city that has a mass amount of no fathers in the home? Well, just take a look at Chicago. Is it the reason for all the problems? Well, of course not. Is it a major reason? I would think so. I think anybody with reason would look at that and see it. The leadership is out the window. To be a leader, to possess good leadership, it starts with responsibility, good responsibility that you take on and that you focus on, and the bad responsibility, you shed that. It won't lead you anywhere good or anybody else around you. And so to take complete ownership is to basically say that you've taken this on, you're committed, and you're fully focused on it. And just because things go wrong or there's a problem, these aren't reasons to stop focusing or set the importance of this particular responsibility to a different level. It's just to see it through, and I think responsibility, seeing it through, I think applies to all responsibility. That's good responsibility. That's the way it should be anyway. So just a quick overview. I think literally I could go hours and hours on this. Literally I could break it down into categories, into different subject matter, subjects that apply to this. And it could be a whole course. But anyway, week 45, what came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first, responsibility or focus? So I'll let you figure all that out. Alright, let's see if this video works or not. Catch you later.